Hey, Cole Archives here, back to bring you another Ordeal video. Recently, I dropped a video explaining the Heart Clan. We went over members like Nico, Kagaya, and Sabito. However, there was a potential Heart Clan member that may have been hidden in our faces during Season 2 of Ordeal. So, Space Cadets, today we will be discussing the possibility of Child Gakki being the last son of Sabito Heart. I can't take credit for this theory because during the live review we did of Ordeal Season 2, my Vice Commander Bartier brought this up as one of his topics, and this theory has more credence than one would believe. So do me a favor and be sure to drop a like on the video so all other Ordeal fans' algorithm can suggest the video. Comment, do you believe that Child Gakki is the last son of Sabito and May Heart? And consider joining the Cosmic Armada by subscribing and enabling the notification bell so you don't miss when I drop another video. Let's get started with the video. Now, Child Gakki is one of the 11 children of Vaal. Vaal is unable to produce children of his own due to his age, so he takes children from different clans. He considers the Gakki his children once Chi Limit expansion is completed. Chi Limit expansion is Vaal providing blood to the Chemio through a transfusion. Vaal is able to match the blood type of the Chemio, and since his Chi reserves are comparable to that of the Great Four talent, it results in the expansion of a Chemio's Chi Limit. Titan generals go through the same process, but the Gakkis are said to be rivaling the gods themselves in skill, but exceed them in Chi. Now, Child Gakki is introduced in Season 2, Episode 67. In this chapter, his facial features are not revealed and will be shown later in Episode 98. However, in Chapter 67, we are also introduced to another Heart Clan member by the name of Nico Heart. In her introduction scene, it shows Nico staring into the eyes of Shay intensely, as if she is trying to understand his heart's intent. Later in Season 2, we see Child Gakki during Episode 98 exactly, sporting the Heart Clan signature traits. In Ordeal, the different clans' noticeable physical traits are associated with their hair and eyes. The Heart Clan signature traits are their blood red eyes and snow white hair. I'll go into more details about the Heart Clan in their entirety in the Heart Clan Explained video, so be sure to watch that video to get a full analysis of the Heart Clan. Gakki is able to coagulate and congeal his blood in his body to produce weapons such as a scythe and two-sided knives. Coagulation is the process of clotting blood to prevent the loss of excess blood. One of the many practices to cause the blood to clot is to apply ice to it. Child Gakki's combat prowess is enough to make Lord Abijah consider unleashing the full extent of his talent. This talent may be able to overpower a wall of infinite chi created by Levi, one of the royal blood tier, and also that god tier specifically. We do not know any of Azam's past before coming to Red Wolf Gym, but we can trade that he could have a relationship with the Heart Clan survivor, but nonetheless, the fact that he was able to recognize the physical trait of a hidden clan is noteworthy. In episode 71, during the Tachi Belly Button Baron fight, Sabito says there's a myth about that says they have an uncanny ability to read minds. That's simply not true. However, we can somehow tell the heart's intent through the eye. Later in episode 98, we are revealed to Konos, the Strength Gakki. Child Gakki begins to yell at him to not interfere, and Master told him to look and not touch. But what is noteworthy is that he is looking directly at him, while he is positioned behind Lord Abijah, who was unable to sense Strength Gakki hostile chi and only noticed him because he was behind him in a hawking form physically. While Child Gakki seemed to understand the motive of Strength Gakki by looking at him, this would show that Child Gakki so far possessed 3 of the Heart Clan traits. However, just having these clan traits are not enough to connect him to being the last son of Sabito and May Heart. We will be diving into the meat of the theory soon, but first we'll briefly talk about May's talent and her personality. May Heart was adopted from her parents in Trinidad. This is due to her talent known as Hand of Creation. This talent is regarded as a creation and power type talent and a gift from God himself. It allows May Heart to grant talents to humans or remove them from Chemio. When granted a talent, she also provides the required chi amount to make the transfer successful. An ability like this could completely end the world depending on who utilizes it. May has spent approximately 13 years inside the K.O.D.E facility, undergoing countless tests while never being able to go outside. One of these tests include extraction of spinal fluid. Cole hopes her spinal fluid will bestow the selected human at Chemio's abilities. Although they had done this procedure multiple times, it has only been successful once. Her spinal fluid was able to provide a human with a talent reflective of their heart. This serum is what is stored inside of the box of life out Mount Yoan in Greenland. Aldous Ross understood the weight he placed on his adopted daughter and did not want his daughter to resent them in any way. So he provided her with a bodyguard from the Heart Clan. This bodyguard is Sabito Heart, who was the owner of the Hasame talent. This would allow May to go outside the K.O.D.E facility with protection. They eventually would fall in love and have 2 children named Shay and Yukiko Heart. At the end of her life, she told Sabito that she was pregnant. She was typically regarded as headstrong, even if she was not an actual combatant. Whenever her abilities was in need, she did not hesitate to utilize them. May loves her children and would do anything to give them a possibility at a happy life. I want to shout out Child Gakki. If you haven't peeped him, be sure to after the video. He has a video talking about the connection between a talent and Kimio. In this video, he discusses how a Kimio's talent is linked to them during their birth. The talent is reflective of the personality of the host. He also discusses the evolution of the talent being linked to their heart's desire as well. As seen with Tevin speaking with Leo, telling him he will give all of himself and more if required, and referred to this state as overdrive. When taking a look at the end of May's life, she only has a few minutes left to live after getting shot by the Kimio Crowder. While in Eden's ice fortress, she conveys to Sabito that she is pregnant. Sabito then fights Vaal's army with a newfound vigor for 3 days straight. What would you propose happened in May Heart's last moment? The woman who performed a talent extraction on Shay to prevent him from dying due to being the host of Thanatos. The same loving mother who gave up her children to prevent them from leading a life similar to hers, one in which they are on the run, in fear of capture, and trapped without a choice. Do you think May died while in Sabito's arm? Or would it be more in line with her personality if she took matters into her own hands in her last moment, in an attempt to save their child's life from the results of their folly? Now, this is where we put our Dr. Hanzo hats on and theorize. Personally, I would feel that she would activate the Hand of Creation talent once more. Since her injury is only physical, although being on the cusp of death, she would have the necessary chi reserve to activate her talent. May, filled with overflowing emotions of hope and sorrow, with everything on the line, she gives more of herself, more than she ever had. So much so that she activates the Hands of Creation overdrive. So if Child Gakki is in the forming stage, May would attempt to use her Hand of Creation talent while most likely praying, which is in line with the character of ORDEAL, on her unborn child. If she was between 9 to 12 weeks pregnant, that child would have already been somewhat formed. Given that modern biology believes that life begins at the conception once her egg is pierced, which would mean that during the growth of a child in the womb, it will already have a soul. She would provide the child with a talent that will gather the necessary items to accelerate its term. Most likely, given we know that Child Gakki already possesses a blood talent, let's talk about it a little bit more in the birthing process. Since he congeals and coagulates his blood in his birth, he would most likely coagulate the blood of his mother to grow quicker. He would most likely only be able to use the resources available to him through his mother. And this mass growing at a rapid rate would cause May agonizing pain. May talent is said to provide the necessary chi amount to the person to give it a talent as well, meaning this miracle is possible. One thing about Child Gakki is that he has very pale skin akin to cold weather. When you look at bears, the brown bear is typically found in warmer climates, while the polar bear in Arctic tundra. This could be a possibility of 3 things. The climate that Vaal hideout resides in is in the coldest temperature. The hideout is a place that lacks sunlight, which is not too far off since Vaal's weakness is sunlight. And last, which is most likely due to his talent being bestowed upon him while growing in the womb. Congealing is the process blood goes through from a liquid to a solid, as if cold. The aspect of cold being in the definition would be a small Arthur's hint to a relation to Sabito Heart and the Hasame talent. This will also reflect how he is able to change forms of his weapon as well. We do know that Brent loves the Hasame talent and Sabito can do anything, so having the quote-unquote cold aspect to the inner workings of his talent while having the talent itself reflect Vaal's docile talent with blood manipulation would be a unique way to hide Child Gakki's connection to Sabito. So how would Vaal get Child Gakki exactly? If all they found was the head of Sabito, we know the Hisame ice is unmelted and almost impossible to destroy, given that Kimio has the training to pull it off at least. And at the time, Sabito is comparable to the Great Four talents and is the 4th god tier. May is held inside of an ice coffin when a dynamite is dropped near Sabito. As Sabito loses his life, the construct would disappear, so the baby would still have a higher probability of surviving, since he was behind Hasame ice coffin wall while in the corpse of May still developing, until broken out of the coagulated and congealed sac of blood. While searching for the remains of Sabito and May Heart, Vaal may have come across the womb of compressed blood, and when he opened it, a baby that is mature to 9 months term may have been in it, and when he touches the baby, it could have been physically. This could make him briefly believe that this child of Sabito was transferred to Hasame talent before his death. Keep in mind, Shay and Yukiko birth was never included in public records, and May had a home birth with Shay, so it is not too far off to assume that she may have had one with Yukiko as well. So this child being cold to the touch would be a signal to Vaal that it has the Hasame talent. Now, Vaal thinking that this child has the Hasame talent due to circumstances at which he found the child, this could possibly tug on the soft part of him of wanting a family, of wanting children, but not being able to have them. Now, with Sabito gone and Hasame assumptively in his hands, this will lead him to eliminate the Heart clan to prevent another child like Sabito from being born. So Child Gakki is currently the youngest Gakki and is even shorter than Yukiko, which is an artistic representation of Child Gakki being younger. Let's take a look at the other Gakkis to give credence to Vaal's taking children from other clans. We have Beast Gakki, who hails from the Ojuzo clan. We have K.O.D.E, who is from the Masamune clan as well. So Child Gakki donning not only the Heart clan trait, while displaying he is able to read the Heart's intent of Strength Gakki. One would assume that he will also be a part of the Heart clan. One trait that Vaal provides his children is the ample amount of his blood. We do know that Vaal's blood is able to do a multitude of things, such as expand chi limits, corrode cells, thus destroying the Kimio's ability to regenerate, or straight up kill a Kimio, acting as a blood-eating infection. Keep in mind that Ilios had to burn away Vaal's blood cells inside of Shay to keep them from continuing to harm Shay. But once the blood cells is affected by Vaal's blood, the damage is done. If Vaal were able to supply an ample amount of blood to each Gakki, he could expand a chi limit due to stronger cells with a higher chi limit being transfused to that of one beyond the God tier. Since he's comparable to the Great Four talents in chi alone, and not talent. Now, we looking at the talents in the cell itself is remarked as black goo. If you want a complete breakdown on the cell of a Kimio, you would have to view my Ordeal Power System Part 1 video. When looking at the eyeball of the Gakki, the eyeball is black, concluding that it's from manipulation of another person's talent. We see this with Ryu Gaskan and Yorohime eyes as well, who are Titan generals, but not with Victor Octopus or Soda of the Rainbow. Yorohime took over the previous leader's position for the Titan general, who most likely was Ryu Gaskan, given his ability to destroy and read strategy, and not Sota or Victor, because they was too weak. Given that Child Gakki dons the Heart clan features, Vaal may have seen this as an opportunity to make the Hasame talent and his nemesis become part of his family. One third of the population in Ordeal are Kimio. This theory also supports those numbers as well. Shay was born a natural Kimio, although it was extracted at his birth. Yukiko was born a human and became a Kimio later on. And Child Gakki, although given a talent in the womb, would have most likely been born human without the hand of creation being involved, which would adhere to the 1/3 of the population being Kimio. Anyway, let me know what you think of this theory. And should I do more theories about Ordeal? Did you enjoy the structure of the video? Is there any topics you would like for me to cover? Let me know down below. Be sure to like the video if you enjoy it and share it with a friend as well. I am on the road to 10K subscribers and I can't do that without y'all. Anyway, wolph, nara, or cold archive, whichever one you prefer. Signing off.